Welcome back to another issue. I'm Beastie Boy.
I'm Table.
I'm Red.
And it is I, Shino Brando.
And in this issue, we look at the Todd father's biggest misstep and crimes against cinema, Spawn.
So first and foremost, I've got to apologize for my co-host for making them watch this movie.
You're slightly forgiven.
98 minutes.
That's right. Don't forget the 8.
So this movie is based on Todd McFarlane's comic book of the same name. It was released in 1997. It was written by Alan B. McElroy and stars John Leguizamo, Martin Sheen, and D.B. Sweeney. The budget of this movie was $42.5 million, and it made $87.9 million at the box office. Up front, I want to tell people that a third of that budget was spent on the VFX. One more trivia fact, Todd sold the rights to New Line Cinema for $1.
Wow. That's shameless.
They really made $1 worth of a movie with it, too.
So, fun fact about that, it's crazy that your title star here, who's playing Spawn, is not even he's not even the first name in the star billing. He comes way later on. So poor Michael Jai White.
That dude's a beast.
Yeah, he's an incredible stunt actor. I watch a lot of his films. He's incredibly fantastic at what he does for fight choreography and stunt work, and a giant physical specimen. And to this day, even I can't remember how old he really is, but he's holding up really well. Still very actively gone in martial arts practice. So he's keeping up really healthy. So yeah, good for him for that. Bad for him for taking this movie though, because man, I remember this movie coming out in 97. I was aged enough to be aware to go watch this movie. And I went to go see this film and came out thoroughly disappointed, heartbroken even, because this was not even like what it was in the pages of the Image comics, right? This was completely different, yet almost the same stuff. And it's just I don't know, just fucking shame, man. Where do we even begin to mark this movie down?
Well, I think there's no better place to start with this movie than at the beginning, where a random dude who has yet to introduce himself, instead of just hijacking the airplane and blowing it up from literally anywhere in that building, decides he's just going to take over airport control.
Ooh,
Going about their day and doing their jobs.
He uses a rocket launcher, that type of device, but you could have done that on top of the actual tower, not from inside where you killed the guys. It doesn't even make sense. You blew it out the window. It means you needed open air. It means you could have just used the roof.
You could have stood on top of a car.
It means you could have stayed outside right on the landing strip itself and still just used that same device, and it would have worked the same way. I don't know what happened.
They didn't think that far, that's why. They thought, ooh, money, action, break glass, and boom.
Strange opening. Anyways,
Remember that as this movie progresses, it actually tries really hard to avoid as many action scenes as possible. So I can only assume they filmed this early and realized that they sucked at action scenes, which caused everything else to be the way it was.
Yeah.
We're going to put lots of action in this movie. And then they realized, shit.
They also sucked at opening credits, because the opening credits were all in Fire Inferno, Tornado, and it went on for way too long with a soundtrack that nobody likes. And then we get to that, open narration, and with that, and then it leads into that action scene, and then more open narration, and then back to the movie, which is kind of disjarring, but okay.
Insert fake bird flying in front of the screen for no reason, but alright.
That dove. Oh, that dove. Oh, there's another shot in that movie where I'm like, oh my god, you ripped that straight out of an N64. I promise you, that's the hardware they were editing on.
Speaking of, when he actually blew up the plane and everything, that looked terrible too. that looked like GoldenEye, man. That looked terrible.
Stop.
GoldenEye 64, I should say.
I really think the fire tornado was actually an interesting choice here because it really sets you up for the rest of the movie.
Yes.
It truly transports you to a special circle of hell from where you can proceed to suffer.
Before we move on to whatever the fuck else is in this movie, honestly, sometimes it's a blur jumping from scene to scene. I want to go back to the title credits for a second because all the ends are backwards.
Through in and throughout, you were saying even at the end credits too, no?
Oh yeah, every single N in everybody's name flipped backwards, like the edgelord they're trying to be.
But except for one N, the actual title of Spawn, the N is actually correct. Every other N is backwards.
This movie is nothing but inconsistent.
Most of this movie didn't make sense.
After the open murder that Al Simmons does,
Shit.
For no reason, completely unnecessary.
right? He reports back to head office, I suppose. He's with his friend. His friend tells him pretty much like, what was he talking about? Like he shouldn't have a relationship and whatnot and such, and pretty much drives him to his job where he knows he's doing dangerous fucking work anyways. And then Al proceeds to go inside and says like he quits just out of nowhere, just quits.
He's done.
He
The life
read
is
the
done for him.
newspaper.
Yeah,
He
he read the
news
newspaper
and
that
was
he
like,
killed a whole bunch of civilians.
died.
Yeah.
Even though he did it personally, face to face.
Yeah, exactly. You're mad about killing civilians, but those guys that worked in the tower, the air control,
Yeah.
Definitely civilians.
they were employed.
And you murdered.
Don't people who work, don't they classify as civilians, Al?
No, they were
Didn't
working
you-
for the system.
Didn't you full on like shoot a dude against a window and make him fall out of it? Al?
Oh.
Civilians? I killed civilians? I'm mad about that.
Why did you tell me they're civilians? But you already killed them.
Mhm.
Why are you mad?
You were doing it actively.
So he's like, I quit this business, and he's like, you want to kill civilians? You use priest, and then immediately she walks in the office, like she was just there, right there. He says her name, and she just shows up like, but priest doesn't exist in comic format. She was replaced because they couldn't use Chapel because they had to pay Rob Liefeld for that because he's in a different comic book. And now it's Todd and Rob's idea of like, hey, let's have a shared universe kind of idea. So they took Rob's character and made him kill Al, and Al became Spawn and wanted revenge against Chapel. But in here, we couldn't do that, so we made Priest. Get it? Chapel? Priest? Get it? Yeah. So then after Al bugs to like retire, and his boss, Jason Wynn, is just like, okay, fine. One last mission, okay?
One
And
more
he, like,
job.
Yeah, and Al's face is like, that's strange. And you know, in the back of your head, you should be like, I'm gonna get fucked over. So you know, and this guy he does a job anyways. Shows up, come on, like you know he gets betrayed, right? Like, you see it coming. Priest and her gun that somehow just has the ability to shoot ooze.
That gun pisses green on him.
Goop gun, goop gun.
Right? Was that anywhere conventional? Are you planning to use this like chemical like on a one-on-one basis?
Probably had a
You'd have good
gauge
range, so yeah, she's gotta.
Probably had a job later for YTV to shoot some goop later. I don't know.
Ah, fuck.
Hired by Nickelodeon. Okay.
Well, this ooze is actually flammable, so they if you want, okay, hold on. So you wanted to take Al out because you need to kill him. So instead of just putting bullets through him, instead of shooting ooze on him and then ignite him, and then blow up the factory.
You already showed that he's a killer person, that's a thing he does. Why did you need to send him on another mission? No, just bop him between the eyes. Call it a day.
What was the point? You could have done it in an office. You could have had the body even better because it's your office.
But they had to make it dramatic. Put the
work for
ooze.
you.
You could have killed him on the way there.
Why would you even bother to send him out there to like waste your time?
Presumably they know where he lives. I mean, he works for them, you know? They probably have his address on file. Like
what? And Al goes there and gets immediately fucked over. Which, come on.
And gets green pissed on. And then, like the twirly mustache this man is, his boss goes, "See you in hell, Al," and lights his man on fire with a cigar.
Yeah.
very rude.
Jason Wynn played by Martin Sheen. I don't even know how they dragged poor Martin Sheen to this fucking movie.
Martin Sheen, we're sorry.
But if we can back up a step, actually, I have some opinions about that meeting between Sheen and the fucking clown, where the clown tells him he has to kill him or kill Al, because the way that scene was set up was so fucking weird. Like, why does the clown have to be in pitch darkness? Why is Martin Sheen's character okay with that? Why is this how you do meetings? This is a business office where you do murder and crimes and stuff. I assume having a demon in-house isn't that big a deal. He owns your soul. Like, it's chill. He can just be there. Does the clown insist on turning off the lights for these meetings for fun?
I've got some
It
answers.
didn't make sense for the audience either because like we see
They show him immediately.
Yeah, like 5 minutes, like immediately 5 minutes later.
Like, it's not a surprise. It's not subtle.
Even.
It's not sneaky. It
Does
changes nothing.
It does
The
nothing.
other thing I hated about that particular scene was The lines back and forth between Martin Sheen's character and the fucking clown.
John Leguizamo, poor guy.
That's not how two humans speak to each other. The writer,
I mean,
I
one of them
promise
is
you,
a
has
demon.
never spoken to another human.
He can't have. That's just not how
even,
dialogue
That's
works.
not even 90s comic book speak. It's just nothing. They filmed two characters in separate rooms, gave them two different versions of the script, and said, we'll stitch it together in post.
This is a movie. Let's yeah, this should work. Okay, put that there, put this here. It works.
In between the director's 8th line of coke, this is how they did that movie. That's how they did that
Hey,
show.
listen, I like how we glossed over Al coming out of the coffin, and he's just in Rat Alley, with clothes on already as well. Makes little sense how he's just there. Comic, he literally broke out of his grave, maggots and all, intact, and was naked as shit because he's a corpse, and so had to get some clothes on him and went to an alleyway and found some clothes off a fucking dead hobo, and yeah, lived like that for a little while, and then he got his costume. But here he's just immediately in someone's clothes already there.
Movie is allergic to showing us the interesting parts of this movie.
There was interesting parts?
No, because it cut all of them out. Every single one of them.
It starts to tell the story plainly in one direction, and then because Spawn loses his memory, or we find out that anyway, we have to have John Leguizamo's character do some of the shittiest transition work I've ever seen in my whole life of having editing software in front of me. And trust me, that's not very long. Just show this man exactly what happened. You know, the interesting thing that we were telling a story in chronological order.
I hated the writing for Clown. It was quite literally
second that clown was on screen was garbage.
Yeah, he was literally every 90s commercial you could think of.
Yikes.
Yeah, indeed.
I'm going to play devil's advocate for exactly one fart joke. One fart joke gets to stay because it's the 90s, and that's how that's like, this is how we get kids to show up.
Yeah,
right. Okay, fine. One fart joke. Fine. That's not how many this man makes.
No.
It's like 8.
Is that including the skid marks joke, or?
No, that's a whole different joke in itself. That's the skid
marks joke is actually just unacceptable writing. Like that's not
appearance.
Funny. That's not haha gross. That's just fucking unpleasant and should never be on screen.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna put John Leguizamo in a fat suit and make him say and do every offensive thing you could think of right now.
You know what other stupid joke he makes that I'm still not past? When he's a fucking kid's party clown and he says, I have more tricks than your local hooker, and no one responded to that?
I know.
No one reacted to him saying that?
It's the 90s. They glossed it over.
Like, does that mean the local ladies on the street know how to make balloon animals? Like, that could have been funny, but no.
The dude is literally doing tricks with a cigarette in mouth and a fucking little whiskey in hand. And like, it's like, as parents, are you not noticing this? Like, I'd have been like, you're fired, man. Get off my property. But these guys are like, yeah, just perform.
Like, I hope you didn't give him a deposit. Fuck.
Oh, shit. Imagine.
Hi, you guys let John Wayne Gacy into your house? Okay.
No reactions.
But you're mad about this burnt hobo on your back in your backyard?
Both of them should leave your premises, actually.
One looks really harmless right now. Like he's actually suffering. Instead of like trying to kick him off your property, I've been like, do you need some kind of help, maybe?
Do you need medical attention?
Yeah, but the clown looks like a homicidal maniac, but you're like, yeah, just leave him around the children right now and just keep your eyes on this guy.
But he made balloon animals, so they're like, oh yeah, he's fine.
Oh,
he's
completely free. Right.
He's even doing the event for free.
We come to find out that Al Simmons made a deal with not the devil, but Malbolgia. Now, the Malbolgia design in this movie has been critiqued and like steamrolled over the internet abroad since people started rewatching this movie with, better internet. Let me be the first to say it's all well deserved.
I mean,
this thing
Devil May
looks
Cry
like
can do a lot better.
Devil May Cry did a lot better. Mario 64 did a lot better.
I'm pretty sure a kid with some popsicle sticks and felt could do better.
I swear that's how Malbolgia was designed initially in the comic books. But so Al makes a deal with this enhanced CGI sock puppet
That is what it looks like, yes.
Oh my God.
and says, "Yes, I will bring on the apocalypse, so that way your army can come to Earth."
Wow.
I just truly think. By the way, of course, the motivation there is hilarious. He really goes, "Okay, I will start the apocalypse and damn the entire Earth in exchange for the opportunity to hang out with my girl." And you're like, "Okay, but presumably your girl will be affected by these events. Surely she will not enjoy what is about to go down. Do you not consider that this will be bad for everyone involved, including your girl?" Like,
No,
no,
'cause
it does not occur to this dumb man.
Oh, I
He
could
is
turn
too
it-
busy being ground beef.
I could turn her into she spawn. What do you mean?
Hmm.
The 90s, everybody wants that.
Listen, if She Spawn would have happened in this movie, fucking, I guess spoilers for She's Not the fucking film, if you care, that would have made it a better movie. Listen, just the sheer appearance of She Spawn probably would have made the movie better. But they had room in the budget to put the clown's face on a fucking shovel, and now I can't unsee it.
The true Looney Tunes-ness of it.
Okay, yeah, you guys want to dive into just the sheer broad umbrella that is the CG and effects of this movie, because every last bit of it is fucking
We're
terrible.
at a good point that we should just riff on it all, and then we'll continue back to the plot.
Because from opening sequence right to end, every bit of CG, even like the green glow effect, looked like I've seen better effects on like Goosebumps, man.
The green glow effect for that fucking dude, Cagliostro is his name. I swear to you, that's what Ghost Obi-Wan kind of looks like. They borrowed that clip, but green and just a border.
Every time they went to hell and showed like all like the stock composite spawns on every platform, I was just like, but I've watched Reboot and it looks better than this. And Reboot came out like in '93. So there's no excuse for this.
But cocaine.
Gotta be. What else
$14
do you
million
do?
of cocaine.
What else do you do with $14 million dedicated to CGI? And then,
Every letter N except for one spawn and turn it backwards.
And then blow the rest of it, literally.
and then you had 3 production companies working on this film, and you still needed to borrow an extra $1 million.
You want to name up the studio that they were using, by the way? Industrial Lights and Magic.
Oh, yes. ILM. You know, they just did little films like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Industrial Light and Magic is one of the like top tier brands to ever touch VFX. Unfortunately, some faction of ILM decided to touch Spawn, took that contract.
And you dug into like why it looks like this, right? Like there's something like there's this production was just like rushed.
So rushed, it doesn't even start to cover it. So 2 weeks before the release of the film was when more than half of the effects were done and submitted to be introduced into the final cut.
It really did just spend almost all of that budget on building a little cocaine house in their office and then realized towards the end of their calendar that they had to submit something.
You're like, what's the date? Oh, we gotta work.
Yeah.
Remember that contract we had? Yeah, what about it? Yeah, we gotta start now.
We spent only $1 million. Where's the rest of the money? We spent it on a lot of Colombia.
What do you mean? You see that thing right in front of you? Yeah, that's where the rest of the money is.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
It's not chalk. That's not chalk.
It's not. It's not the shavings from all the work.
It's not dandruff from not showering and doing work. Like,
Just eraser shavings. Don't worry about it.
I can guarantee you that's not Johnson & Johnson. Let's go.
so after Al Simmons gets motivated enough to dig up his own very, like, this grave must be made out of fucking balsa wood or something. That snapped and cracked like it was fucking Rice Krispies, my guy.
But he's supposed to be super strong. Don't forget.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but he doesn't know that yet.
Yeah, this is true.
We see the first image of Spawn in his entirety. Well, we'll get the last bit later. But Jesus Christ, Venom looks on the same, from Tom Hardy's movie, it looks on the same level as this.
Tom Hardy's Venom looks better.
Venom was fun, if nothing else.
Don't take it away from the practical effects type of movie, right? Because the suit as is for something in 1997 looks pretty all right. You could have got something that was just like badly done with poor spandex or some shit. You got a prosthetic kind of suit, which looks all right. It looks a bit beefy, right? But it looks all right.
True. You know what? Like later on in the film, when we see him in very low light, and it's the helicopter, but we'll get to the fucking helicopter. That is when that suit really shines properly. Like, that's the best it looks, and it's a practical thing. It wholly exists.
It looks all right. It looks decent for what we're getting here.
Then we find out that Cagliostro is packing with a fucking sword as a hand.
Yeah, he's on a Kenobi quest to make sure that Spawn stays on the right track.
Hot take, he does a shitty job.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, for sure. He straight up is like, I am here at the very beginning, and I could tell you everything now and make both of our lives infinitely easier, but I shall not be doing that. Go have fun and get smacked around a bit.
It's your life. Do what you want, bro.
Don't teach you how to use your powers. At some point.
Let the clown teach you how to use your powers. Fueled by rage. They borrowed more from the Jedi and the Sith than they want to actually admit.
Except for all those groovy guns, because like Spawn straight up stole those and fucking stockpiled them on top of a church and decided to go on his revenge quest and breaks into Jason Wynne's party. Yeah, where he just goes off with a whole bunch of bullets, and the whole sequence is just stupid.
It features the iconic Spawn descending from the ceiling with his cape that I swear to you is 80 miles long.
Yep.
And looks like liquid beef jerky.
My God.
One nitpick I have with this fucking movie is that the budget must have been so low that Jason Wynne, when he is saving the documents that Martin Sheen's character is doing in his Grandmaster plan, he doesn't save it on DVD like a regular person, right? Or, whatever other content media you wanted to save it onto. He saves it onto mini disc. Actually, oh man, I've got such a problem with this. So the reason I've got a problem with it, for our younger viewers that have never seen a DVD player, in the middle is a special ring for a special kind of disc. And it's a format that's carried onto this day. Not only was this inferior to DVD in itself, to DVR, it held less data in a inferior format. The people in this movie took a label maker, wrote the word special and ops on it, and then moved on.
Yes.
A label maker was in the budget for this fucking film.
Well, I just remember when they were at the party and he goes off, he confronts Priest, right? And she's like, "You don't have the guts." And it's just like, but wait, he's been a hired mercenary assassin for like all these years. I mean, he should have the guts. Why would he not shoot you? Why now would be the time he has no guts?
Also, you're pressed against the banister and he's got bullets at it. You know he's an assassin.
Like, what do you mean he doesn't have the guts?
And you lit him on fire earlier. What do you mean?
And he shoots her, she falls off the balcony, but then when he hoists her body out, she took a bullet to the head. When did that happen?
Weird cuts and
landed on a bullet.
Yeah.
Must have.
Like, he shoots her and she falls off the balcony, but I don't remember her head catching a bullet. I just remember her like falling off the balcony. So I'm assuming she took it to the stomach, no? Stomach or chest. But when they hoist her body out later on the gurney and everything, right? They're like, yeah, this one's dead. Bullet to the head. What?
Before Spawn makes this woman look like Swiss cheese with a AK-47. There's a woman in this party that her dress has a big white diamond on it. That's the Green Power Ranger in disguise. And she's wearing Spawn earrings.
Yeah. Good old cameo of Angela.
Is that who that is?
That's who that is.
Oh, wow. Well then.
You know what? Sin's forgiven.
They thought they were going to get a sequel, so they're going to try to insert Angela and have her come in later because Angela is a Spawn hunter. She kills these things on a regular. So like seeing another one active, she's like, nope, gotta get this one done. We never got that good movie though.
Allow me to hit you with your own line. Pause. Like, her earrings are Spawn.
Yep, her earrings. That's comic format too. She wears them actively because I believe those are buckles she's taken off dead bodies and she's turned them into earrings.
Sin's forgiven. I retract my previous statement. All right.
The Green Power Ranger was not invited.
Listen, man, Angela's cool as shit. It's just too bad we never got her in a movie. The animated HBO series has her in the final season, and she's fucking wicked shit. I gotta rewatch that again because she puts Spawn through the ringer. And of course, Spawn's a good guy, so they kind of, spoiler alert, they team up. But like their initial hunt down is some of the best shit ever.
Moments before Jessica is her first name, dies whether she dies from bullets or dies from the fall, dies from the bullet to the head that wasn't there in the first shot, who knows? Comes the scene that sticks out to one particular person on our panel today. The attempted crotch kick.
His belt just goes crunch. I can't help but thinking, like, what if he hugged someone but secretly hated them? Would it bite off their dick?
It's an attempt. If he really hated that person.
Also in that sequence, when he jumps off the balcony doing the front flip, but then he shoots for some reason, and there's nobody behind him, but he's shooting behind him for some reason. He's just wasting bullets.
That 360 spin for God who's no reasons why.
Yeah.
Like
360 no scope, my guy.
Oh, I didn't know we were playing COD again. Jesus Christ.
Like
12-year-olds, their sensitivity at 10. Fuck.
He's 360ing off the balcony, but he's shooting for some reason, but there's no enemies behind him or even in front of him. He's just shooting. You're flipping. Why?
I got guns. They go. Pew.
So after ruining the fucking party, that amounts to nothing really, Jason Wynn comes out. He has to talk to Clown again behind some ambulances, which is impossible because the place is crowded, but somehow they did it.
People just don't want to look at the clown, so they pretend nothing's happening.
He is so bonkers looking that the entire rest of the earth and the cast just like, you know what? Brain, reject.
I guess so. That must be it. Because man, I don't know. Looking at this hideous fuck, I'd have been like, can you get off my property, man?
Can you?
I don't know what to do with that visual. I'm not gonna think about it.
But if you don't, but yeah.
So from there, we have Al sneaking around and just seeing what his love interest is doing, and finding out that she's hosting some sort of a press conference because Martin Sheen's character has developed a thing that's gonna just straight up murder a bunch of people, and it's causing a great plague.
Wasn't it like some nuclear virus or some shit like that?
Super virus.
Heat 16 or some shit like that.
Yeah. Some shit like that.
And that's when he first runs into, and they say the name of the daughter of Jason Wynn's character and Wanda. Cyan.
Oh, not Jason.
not
Not Jason Wynn. Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald. That's my bad. Yeah. Fitzgerald and Wanda's daughter, Cyan. What a stupid name.
What are you talking about? I named my child
Genta.
And I say this as Red. Cyan's stupid. And then we get John Leguizamo's clown in a cheerleading outfit.
I don't want to think about that, in fact.
He does a full-on cheer.
Yeah, nobody needed to see that, though.
It went on for too long.
It started too long. It went on for 3 frames and went, you know what? Nah. The dude gets dragged back to hell.
As he deserves.
Because Malbol's just got a problem with this taking so fucking long, and so do I by the time this point in the movie comes.
Malbol's just feeling is pretty much saying what we're all saying at this point.
Get it over with, Captain.
Why is this still happening?
Martin Sheen's character gets the bomb inserted into his chest because that's how all that Heat 16 stuff is going to go off.
Yes, and so the clown's big plan is to have Spawn kill Wayne out of revenge and set off the fucking thing so everybody dies and get more hell spawns. Yay, that's the ploy.
Welcome to the whole plot, ladies and gentlemen.
We got this far. Holy shit. In their last moments, Spawn and Clown finally have their confrontation where he turns into not Vindicator, not whatever, but he turns into the Violator, a name that's totally offensive in every regards, and decides to whip the shit out of Spawn. Which happens, and he has
shocks the dog.
Oh yeah, he shocks the dog. Yeah, and he impales Spawn on a fence.
Sorry, you don't mean the word you do not mean is impale. The word you mean is crucify.
Yes, crucified him.
Because why? Because they did.
Because symbolism.
Cinematography.
It was completely unnecessary, made no narrative sense, and was just like, you have seen a movie before.
I promise you, Zack Snyder took a page out of that scene, and you know what? Superman. Christ allegory.
Man, it's funny how like to get him off that fence because he's all like he can't get himself off there, right? Cogliostro just comes out of nowhere, just one hand pulls the man off the fence. My question is, where's that strength later?
He had one use of it and he burned it here. The dude just had to take a long rest. That's all.
So after that whole impalement and Cogliostro pulls him down, he decides to teach him how to use his suit finally. And so you can see that they're trying to use Cogliostro like Obi-Wan Kenobi here to Spawn's Luke Skywalker. But then for some reason, Spawn decides to call him Yoda.
Okay, he's just guessing about the reference.
What a missed reference.
It's like you stared at the Star Wars list of characters and threw a dartboard and you were between two characters and you went, you know what, that one.
Like, yeah, we can remember this name. It's easy, Yoda. Just use that one. What's worse is that you used Industrial Lights and Magic, which is home to Skywalker Ranch, and still you used the wrong name.
Yeah.
That could have been a nice little wink and nod to the people that helped make that what it is. But no, you decided to shit in a glass and feed it to him.
So Spawn finally learns how to use his suit and his cape and decides to go and he robs some guy's bike and decides to fuck off.
Steals this dude bike and then is off to Wanda's house.
Yes. And keep in mind that the bike he stole was also white and green and black as well.
Look, Spawn clearly has no respect for the working man. That's just the message I've got at this point.
Yeah, hey.
Right? He doesn't give a damn about you making your income. Employment doesn't mean civilians.
But what he does care
The
about...
only true civilians are the homeless and the unemployed. Everyone else can get fucked.
And his dog. Don't forget his dog.
On his revenge quest, he gets blocked by, of course, the clown. Again, driving a truck that has ooze in it. And so Spawn chases him down and then decides to use his cape.
Oh, excuse me. Apparently that goo has a name.
Oh, does it now?
Yeah, it's the word that I hate the most in this entire movie. Necroplasm.
Don't like that either.
Plasm.
All I can think is I'll plas your necros, and I don't like
You.
it.
What does that even mean?
I'll plas your necros?
No, that's even worse.
I have a genuine question. Is when they label necroplasm, is the N backwards?
Stop
Let's
it. Stop it.
Yeah,
Stop it.
Yeah, the N is backwards. It probably should be, yeah. But in all seriousness, that truck is blue for no particular reason. Just to stick out against the black background.
And it shoots the ooze, and Spawn uses his cape to turn himself into like a battering ram barricade thing, and it works. And then the truck blows up, and then the clown's blown sky high, a la Die Hard 2, and it doesn't look any better here.
Walking off the bike to go deal with the fucking clown. That is the coolest shot of Spawn in this entire movie.
That and the rooftop where he's just standing there and the cape's just flowing with its 80-meter long style, and that's about it.
Beautiful shots, exactly what Spawn should look like. The rest of the film, not so much. So then we find ourselves at Wanda's house.
Here we are for the final battle, my living room.
Honestly.
I like how Fitzgerald was talking to someone about like Jason Wynn's files and such over like on his desktop, but like there's no webcam.
Hey,
minor details.
Yeah, fuck that.
Sitting there talking to this woman via like desktop, but there's no webcam anywhere.
It's built in.
Built in where? In 97? They wish.
I don't know.
Wait, the laptop isn't connected to anything. There's no Wi-Fi in 1997.
There's nothing there. It's just a tower and a fucking. It's a tube. It's a fucking cathode ray fucking monitor, man. The CR.
They were trying. Okay, I don't know what they were attempting, but they were trying.
Trying. They used the budget to make John Leguizamo's eyes pop out of his fucking head, and also his head to turn into a goddamn balloon for no reason.
Couldn't buy a cheap ass Logitech webcam and just stick it on top of the monitor to make it look that much more realistic.
Plug it in?
That means they would have to use their brain power and not be sniffing cocaine at the same time. Actually think about ideas like that at some point to produce this movie. You're thinking a little bit too nicely for these people to actually be working that hard.
That means that whole sequence is just that dude talking to a pre-recorded message and just timing it right.
Oh, 200%. That's how they shot that.
He's immediately caught. Jason just comes into the house with his gun like, hey guys. And then the clown shows up and then everybody shows up and here we are. The final battle by the fireplace.
You know this guy? Yeah, you know this guy? Yeah.
Out of the fireplace comes Wanda strapped to this satanic horn thing.
Elaborate.
Way too elaborate for this fucking this CGI nightmare of a thing. Walk me through how Wanda meets her end.
So she's just there, and Jason is literally goading Spawn to like make a move. And if you don't, I'm gonna kill her. And then he kills her anyways by stabbing her in the chest. And Spawn freaks out and throws Jason across the room and decides he's gonna go ham after. But then he's like, I'm not gonna do it. And somehow, some way, he Jesus Christs the device out of Jason's body without even performing any type of surgery with his eyes, and this just destroys it with green power.
I have an answer.
I want to hear. You know what? Strap in, ladies and gentlemen. I want this answer.
It's gonna be as simple as answer. All right, movie plus magic plus some sort of budget equals. Hey, I can do this.
Damn, Red.
That's literally the answer.
You say strap in or strap on? Because right now everybody got fucked.
If there was anyone who knew how to use a strap-on involved in this movie, it might have sucked less.
Entire sequence in hell, the final battle, that's a whole strap on right there. That whole thing is a piece of shit, man.
Okay, so if we're there, now that we're back in hell versus Malbolgia, and the Violator in his true form, that entire scene gave me motion sickness.
This whole movie gave me
nearly
motion
unwatchable.
sickness.
It's so bad.
I can't tell where characters begin and end. I can't tell where that scene starts until we leave hell.
Violator confronting Cagliostro looked like something out of Diablo 2.
Bro, tell me why that was the biggest Shadow Clone Jutsu before Naruto was animated.
Honestly.
Oh my god.
And I'm not wrong, because they all look like Spawn.
Yeah.
Every single one of them, yes.
Malbolgia has exactly one power, make Spawn.
They're all supposed to. Yeah, they're all supposed to look like that. It's just a generic look down there, but then he becomes the sole one. He kills Malbolgia later on in the comic books. But here, right now, he's surrounded. And somehow, someway, he just uses green power again to just try to kill a whole bunch of them. Because we're not explaining how he's just using these powers. Just doing it.
Because he learned it in between the tutorials? I don't know.
He actually paused the game, took a minute, and looked up some button combos, so he figured out how to play.
I also like how he uses powers with no consequence, because in the comic book he has a power limit. He has a meter, and when he drains it all to nothing, he dies again.
Hang on. On that, Cagliostro actually makes a line and says, "Don't use up all of your power; you'll die."
And then he goes on a binge and just uses it up anyways.
That is the opposite of a Chekhov's gun.
Literally, you in every issue you get a meter, and it tells you how much. Like a fucking RPG, he's got 9,999, and it ticks down every time he uses too much of it. Here we're just like, let's just use it, man. Doesn't matter.
You got powers. You gotta save the world. Go for it.
I'll blast him. I'll use my chains all the time. I use my cape all the time. No matter. No consequence. Let's just do it. And then so he boots himself out. He yeets himself out of fucking hell with Cagliostro in hand. Somehow somehow they won. I don't know how they win, but I don't know. They just won somehow.
Yeah.
And then Violator
They
decides
win because the narrative says so.
Yeah, and then
says that's what's happened.
Yeah, and then Violator was like, I'll make one last move by coming back for some reason, and then gets his head severed.
Oh,
and then
no.
away.
So he doesn't just get his head severed. Spawn finally believes in himself or some shit, uses his chains to wrap around Violator's neck, and chainsaws it off in a circle.
Yeah.
That's creative?
The power of friendship, because...
The power of forgetting your family?
Amnesia's how you win, apparently.
This whole movie is just fucking disjointed, man. It hurts so much to watch.
Wanda who?
WandaVision!
Even before he took off on the rooftop, and the kid comes and he's like, "Screw off, kid, I don't want to make any friends." 2 seconds afterwards, "What's your name?" You just told him you don't want to make friends. Why are you asking the kid's name?
Because now he wants friends. He realized.
It's my dog, Spaz. Okay, kid, you're cool. Like, what? You just told the kid to fuck off. Now he's like, what?
A prop thing I really want to point out and just make fun of or ask you guys questions, and hopefully you've got some fucking answers. Terrence's gun, when they're versing Violator for the last time, what the fuck kind of gun is that? Look how he's holding it.
That is a Image Comics designed gun, okay?
It's the kind of gun that you shoot and a little flag pops out and calls you a cunt.
Oh, wow. Didn't know we were referencing Joker that quick.
I caught whiplash from that. Okay, so it's on screen for the viewers at home, but like he's holding it the other side of his hands around the gun, have a holster point, and he's not holding it by the hand. Like, was it that hard to just rent a handgun for that scene for the day?
Oh, we had to use an Image Comics designed gun, man. Something that looks completely unconventional.
Something that looks like it's used exclusively by crazy people, yes.
Yeah.
That's the point where I paused the movie and went, this is enough.
That was it. That was the point. That one. not the clown in cheerleader uniform. No, not that point.
Oh no, that certainly stuck a nail in the coffin, but that was it. That was the straw that broke my camel's back here.
Oh man, this movie. Oh,
After
God.
watching Violator give me not one but 5 humps. Like,
I spent $9.50. I spent $20. I spent $21 tax in. Took a date to see this fucking movie, man, back in 1997.
I'm sorry.
And yeah, we both left the theater. Yeah, and we looked at each other, and we decided not to date each other after that.
I'm so sorry.
Like, you went through some trauma together, but you know what? Sometimes if you look at someone, all you'll think about is what you've seen together.
Yeah, you know what? That Monday morning, we went back to school. We looked at each other in the hallway, and we both looked down to the floor with shame. Like, yeah, no, you witnessed it too. I know. Feel your pain. I get it.
God damn, I hate this movie.
Like, we were young. Spawn was a thing. We were passing comic books to each other, and everybody wanted to wanted to watch this movie. So we're like, yeah, we'll make it a date night. Let's go catch this movie. Our friendship was severed after that.
You both were looking at each other. We're like, you know what? Just it ain't gonna work.
Nope. Whenever I look at you, I remember Spawn, the movie, and I don't want that anymore.
Oh, that hurts.
I got a question.
Hmm.
And listen, we're at the end of the movie. Like, I just want to go pick some parts apart here.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so let's start at the end and work our way a little bit forward here. When Violator licks Wanda, a black woman, and says tastes like chicken.
Chicken? Yeah.
You know how quick I got mad at that? Because I forgot about that line, and I was like, this motherfucker. Let alone him.
Y'all, 1997, man.
I don't know if it's just like it tastes like chicken. Like, that was a joke, right? That was a common joke that everybody used. I get it.
Like, they really should have looked at what they were actually doing and gone, probably shouldn't.
But they didn't.
Oh, man. Okay, so the overly CGI transitions from scene to scene, they get progressively worse as the movie goes forward. First it's fire, then it's that bubble shit that Violator does, then it's fire and Spawn's cape for some fucking reason.
Yeah, those were some of the dumbest fucking transitions I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
Why'd you use them on that? You had budget, and you scraped the budget on that transitions.
Like, if they had spent 30 extra seconds working on writing this stupid movie, they could have written in actual transitions. But alas, they did that shit instead. And it's like, you wasted so much money because you're an idiot?
Yes.
Or
that is the answer.
Or you open up your version of Windows Movie Maker and you hit the star transition and you call it a day.
I didn't know we were using PowerPoint. What the fuck?
Star swipe.
Violator with all his flames all over his fucking jacket because I needed something to pay attention to this movie because the plot wasn't doing it for me. That dude is a Flavor Town Rayjack. Changed my mind.
Stop.
Wow.
And one last thing before we wrap it up this session.
Please.
The line was, makes the Ebola virus look like a skin rash.
Excuse me, that was actually what?
It's a real line in this movie. Oh my god!
Wow.
Who writes that? Who? You know what? I know who.
Uh-huh.
Alan B. McElroy, fuck you.
Well, you know what? That's 98 minutes that we're never gonna get back. But apparently they're doing a reboot of this whole fucking thing with Jamie Foxx, so that better be a better 98 minutes. Or I'm gonna fucking lose
that
my
movie
goddamn.
Has been in some sort of version, a sequel to this one, a reboot, a something of this movie has been in development for the better part of like 20 plus years.
As of last year, it's still in motion, and Jamie Foxx is still attached.
Todd McFarlane, if you hear us,
and please
scrap this. Scrap this one. Be like, yeah, haha, funny, whatever, right? Point and laugh at it now. You have a canvas in which to paint. Like, we get it. Spawn's an edgelord. He just is.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Is the character.
Right? He's the edgelord that the fucking Shadow the Hedgehog looks at and goes, you know what? That's my role model. Okay?
After that, yeah.
You have one of the darkest, one of the sharpest, and one of the edgiest characters known to comic books. All great things that you could paint onto a tapestry of a movie. If this movie sucks, and doesn't come anything close to what you've promised us for 20 plus years, I will spend the rest of my life roasting you.
Oh,
There's no going
Be
back.
coming for your kneecaps.
Yeah, there's no going back after that.
knees will be shattered.
You can be only forgiven once, my friend. After that,
Yeah, everybody gets a shitty thing, right? You know.
right?
But you don't get two. Everybody, like Peter Griffin's Spider-Man, everybody gets one.
That's right. You only get one.
And your one card is already fucking up.
Shit.
Time's
this movie was
ticking,
so
Todd.
bad.
As far as origin stories go, I mean, like his origin was never terrible, but I mean, fuck, this project was rushed hardcore, and they just destroyed it, man. And
What I would love to hear is more of the behind the scenes on why it looks like that.
Oh yeah, I wish there was more. I don't know. You know what? That's great. We should do some investigating on that too, because there's not much known about like all the behind the scenes stuff. Just that.
And it's been 20 years. I'm sure, I'm sure Todd could speak about it. You know what, Todd? Come on the show. Come
Good old
talk
comedian,
about it.
boy.
Like,
Yeah.
this is not in defense of this movie, because that's not what we're gonna do, right? If you want to come on our show and talk about like the production cycle of this movie and your creative direction and how you approach this movie and what actually development of this movie like on set was like, we want to hear about it so bad.
Please.
With that invitation to a future show of ours, Beastie, take us out of here, my friend.
Please.
Well, as we escape the somewhat weird CGI version of this hell that we have been dropped into, we also bring you to the heavens. Our Twitter is at Crusade Nerd. Our Instagram is at Nerd Crusade. And we upload every Wednesday to YouTube. And you can also download any previous episodes or listen on your mobile device through the Anchor.fm website or wherever podcasts are found by searching Nerd Crusade.
And don't forget to rate 5 stars.
Please burn this movie. That's to be continued.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, go ahead and button mash a thumbs up. If you want to swing by when we have a new video, web up the sub button. Oh, and while you're at it, hit the bell to be notified by...